October 31st. The night where shadows dance a little closer, the air feels colder, and every creak seems to hide a chilling secret. As you prepare to celebrate Halloween with costumes, parties, and pumpkin carvings, remember true horror doesn't need a mask or a trick. It lurks quietly, waiting. In real-life encounters far more terrifying than anything Hollywood can conjure. So tonight, gather close, dim the lights, and listen as I take you into 3 disturbing, true Halloween horror stories. Are you alone? Good, let's begin. Story 1: The Disappearing Child. It was Halloween night, and 10-year-old Sarah couldn't wait to start trick-or-treating in her small, close-knit town. She'd donned her favorite witch costume, her little broomstick in hand, and the iconic wide-brimmed hat barely perched on her head. Her parents watched her go door to door, snapping photos and laughing as she filled her bag with candy. But as the night wore on, Sarah's parents noticed she was lagging behind. They called out to her, but she seemed distracted, her gaze fixed on something in the distance, hidden within the shadows. She moved toward it, as if in a trance. Her mother called again, her voice tinged with sudden panic. But Sarah was gone. Hours passed, and the police searched every street, every house. But she wasn't found. Years later, her parents still leave a light on each Halloween, hoping she'll come home. Some people say they still see a little girl in a witch's costume wandering the same neighborhood every Halloween night, searching for her parents, but never reaching them. Haven't lost your nerve yet, have you? Because that was just the first story. Let's see if you're ready for the next one. Story 2: The Uninvited Guest. In the Midwest, it's common to leave a light on for trick-or-treaters, especially if you're home alone. Jennifer, a college student in a small, rural town, had made it a tradition to stay in on Halloween, giving out candy and avoiding the wild parties her friends attended. But this year was different. After giving out the last of her candy, Jennifer closed the door, turned off the porch light, and went to bed. She was drifting off when a sharp, tapping sound broke the silence. It came from the front door. Thinking it was a late-night prank, she ignored it. But then she heard footsteps around the side of her house, scraping sounds along the windows. Fear settled in her chest as she realized someone was walking the perimeter of her house. Slowly, deliberately. Too frightened to move, she stayed in her bed, clutching her phone, waiting for the noises to stop. The next morning, she found muddy footprints outside each window, and a small, dirty handprint on her bedroom window. Okay, quick reality check. That's enough to make you rethink solo Halloweens, right? Maybe next year, a costume party doesn't sound so bad after all. Story 3: The Last House on Birchwood Street. At the end of Birchwood Street, in a house with boarded-up windows, lived old man Darrow. Kids said he was a witch doctor, a man who practiced dark magic, collecting things from those who dared to knock on his door. One Halloween night, a group of daring teens decided they'd had enough of the neighborhood legends. They'd knock on Darrow's door, take a quick photo, and run. But as they crept closer, they noticed the door was open, just a crack, as if waiting for them. One boy stepped forward and peered inside. The others waited, but he didn't move. He just stared, frozen, his face twisted in terror. The group, horrified, yanked him back, and together they ran without looking back. Years later, that boy revealed what he'd seen: a collection of jars on Darrow's table, each one filled with eyes, real human eyes. And among them was a fresh, wide-eyed pair, his own reflection staring back at him. So, as you're out on Halloween night, remember these stories, remember what you've heard, and maybe double-check before knocking on a stranger's door. Because the real monsters aren't in your nightmares, they're here, waiting. If these stories kept you on the edge of your seat, you're going to want to check out my next video, 3 creepy true student horror stories. Tap on the end screen to watch it now, and get ready. Because some classrooms have more than just whispers.